Hello friends, welcome to the next session of non-ferrous metals. In last session we discussed about the non-ferrous metals are classified based on two categories. First one as low non-ferrous alloys and second one as heavy non-ferrous alloys. So low non-ferrous and its classification we have discussed. Now we'll go for heavy non-ferrous alloys. So what in that first one we have copper and its alloys. So before starting with the classification, first what are the properties of copper are to be understood. So copper is a FCC crystal structure with melting point of 1085 degrees Celsius and density of 8920 kilogram per meter cube, whereas color is orange and it has a very good corrosion resistant. Obviously it has a very good machinability and specific application. Many of you know that it is specifically used for high electrical and thermal conductivity applications, or many wires and electrical equipments are manufactured from this. So 99% pure copper are used for wiring applications. Now how it is classified? It is classified into two categories. Out of that, first one is brass. So we'll discuss in today's session about brass. Second one is bronze. We'll discuss it about in our next session. So brass is nothing but an alloy of copper and zinc. It is an alloy of copper and zinc. That is, zinc is the main alloying element in it, and it is added up to 45%. That is, other alloying elements are also present such as tin, aluminium, silicon, magnesium, nickel, lead, etc. But whereas zinc increases, so we get the more strength, hardness and conductivity reduces. Commercially, brass is divided into two categories. First category is alpha brass, and second category you have to remember is alpha plus beta brass. So how both are differentiated? First one, that is alpha brass, which contains zinc content up to 30%, whereas alpha beta brass contains zinc more than 30%. So alpha brass is further classified into four categories. First one is gunmetal, second one is gilding metal, third one is admiralty brass, and last one is cartridge brass. How these are classified? If we have 2% of zinc, it contains, or we call it as gunmetal, which specifically used for wearing bushes. Gilding metal is specifically used for coins, medals, jewelries, etc. This you have jewelry type of color. Next one is admiralty, which contains 28% zinc with 1% tin, which is specifically used for thermal applications such as condenser, evaporator and heat exchanger tubes. Next one we have cartridge brass, which contains 30%, approximately 30% of zinc, and it is specifically used for ammunition purpose, that is ammunition cartridge cases, automotive radiators, lamp fixtures, etc. Now alpha beta brass, it is classified as Mohs metal, which contains 40% zinc, which is specifically used for wall, stream and architectural works. Next one we have naval brass, which contains approximately 39% zinc and 0.75% tin, which is specifically used for marine application. The name itself indicates naval brass. Now the category of copper alloys shown over here. First one we have brass, second one we have bronze. So brass is categorized, first one alpha and next one is alpha beta brass as we discussed, and it's four categories. Further we have bronze, and bronze is categorized into four types, that is aluminum, silicon, beryllium and tin. We'll discuss this part in our next session. Now this is the phase diagram for copper zinc alloy. Copper zinc alloy, in the sense we have alpha brass up to 48% or nearby that, and beyond that we have alpha plus beta brass, and further we have total beta brass. So our concentration will be with that, whereas second diagram is shown over there, with shows tensile strength with the zinc percent variation. That is, if the zinc content varies, initially tensile strength increases, but after some time when the percentage is beyond 30 to 40%, its elongation property and the tensile strength reduces, that is conversion into beta. So brasses in detail we'll discuss. Alpha brass, or also called as red brass, since its appearance is reddish in color. So first category we have discussed was cartridge brass. So cartridge is also called as 70-30 brass. Its microstructure will look like this, that is 70% of copper, 30% of zinc. So alpha brass less than 30% copper, zinc. So cap copper, gilding metal, cartridge brass and admiralty brass. So initially also we have discussed about the composition, but over here we have specific application and contents, that is properties of this specific alloys are shown over here. Cap copper 2 to 5% zinc and have high ductility, so specifically used for detonator caps and coins. Next we have gilding metal, which contains 5 to 15% zinc, has a good corrosion resistance and ductility and used for jewelry purpose. Cartridge 70-30 ductile, contains 30% zinc and specifically used for radiator fins. Next one we have admiralty brass, which contains 28% zinc and 1% tin. So addition of extra alloying element is there, that is tin, which provides again a good corrosion resistance to that, and that's for use for condenser tubes or marine applications. Next one we have alpha beta brass, which contains greater than zinc, 30% zinc. So first one was Moon's metal, it is also called as 60-40 brass, that is 60% copper and 40% zinc. Second one naval brass. Third one leaded brass, because it is also called as free cutting brass due to its property of cutting ability. Next one we have high tensile brass, and next we have brazing brass, whereas brazing brass is called as 50-50 brass, 50% copper, 50% zinc. So alpha beta brass is nothing but 30 to 40% zinc, very good strength, hot working purpose, and is cheaper than the brasses, whereas poor corrosion resistance compared to the alpha brasses. So alpha brass and its typical properties are shown over here with applications. So in that, Moon's metal 60-40, 40% zinc, very hard and strong. So pump applications, that is pump parts, shafts, bolts, valves, etc. Naval brass, specific name indicates naval in the sense used for navy application, that is marine applications. Next one we have leaded brass, since there is the name itself indicates leaded, that is leaded has up to 2% in it, so which increases the machinability and therefore used for different machining purpose, that is machine parts and hardware products. Whereas brazing brass, which contains 50% zinc, so 50% zinc provides brittleness to it, and that's why used for brazing applications. And last one we have high tensile brass, which contains extra elements such as Moon's metal plus combination of aluminum, silicon, tin and manganese, that is high tensile strength, and which provides the applications such as marine pumps and shaft gears, etc. This is the microstructure of Moon's metal, that is 60-40 brass. Next important characteristics we have to discuss, that is season cracking of brasses. What actually happens when brasses are used for any specific applications, it has a tendency of cracking during cold working operations. That is, whenever this type of brasses, alpha brasses or alpha beta brasses are used for any application, it has a tendency of formation of cracks spontaneously. Why? Because of the residual stresses present internally, which creates intergranular cracks, that is this one. Suppose this is a microstructure, we have this, so this grain boundaries we call it as intergranular cracking. So this type of cracks are generated. Why? Due to the residual stress, which creates these boundaries as anodic in nature, and that's why this anodic crystals boundaries provides or which are very prone to the corrosion. So that's why in humid environment such type of cracking take place. That's why it is called as seasonal cracking. So that's all for this much session. We'll continue with our bronze session in next lecture.